What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Big Body Bruta, who is going to be on Madolche, versus Deputy Caleb, who is going to be on Lightsworn Ruler. Both of these decks are pretty cool, so hopefully this will be a good match, but the only way to know is to actually get into it, so let's get started. Here, it looks like Deputy Caleb is going to win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Compulse, Book of Moon, Max C, Fiendish Chain, and Solemn Warning, and on the other side, we see Necrogardna, Curry Bandit, Needlebug Nest, Card Trooper, and Necrogardna, and here, Deputy Caleb will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Lila, and right away, we see that they are going to go for the slightly slower play in Curry Bandit, which definitely makes sense given they don't have a soul charge or anything to be able to take advantage of, say, mills off of the Card Trooper. So normal summoning that copy of Curry Bandit, setting the Needlebug Nest and going to end phase, using Curry Bandit and excavating the Solar Recharge, Honest, Eclipse Wyvern, JD, and a copy of Raiden. So here getting the copy of Solar Recharge to hand, which will be very good on the following turn, and then the Eclipse Wyvern is going to banish a copy of JD. After that, it's over to Big Body Bruta, who is going to get a copy of Hootcake, which, you know, obviously they didn't use the Max C, so there's nothing really to take advantage of with the Hootcake, though I guess if they really wanted to, they could summon the Hootcake and just drop the Max C just to get it out of hand, so that they have a monster to banish for the Hootcake, though they don't really gain too much advantage out of that necessarily, though I guess in theory they could go for something like a Ticket, and so then, you know, when the thing would get shuffled back, they'd be able to get an ad, but they really lose out in advantage on the Max C. So let's see what they actually choose to do here, and it looks like they are going to summon Hootcake and just go to battle phase, which is honestly a little risky in a sense, given, you know, obviously this is their only kind of starter, and it's a very strong one at that, so there almost would have been a reason just to play it a little slower and hope they draw into something, or wait until the following turn where they get advantage out of the Max C. But regardless, here they are going to set 4 and just pass it back over to Deputy Caleb, who gets a copy of Wolf. From here, they're going to activate the Solar Recharge, ditching the Wolf, drawing into a Raiden and a Lila, and milling a Foolish and a Charge of the Light Brigade. Very unfortunate. They probably would have liked to have those mills and draws in reverse there. But anyways, they are going to summon the copy of Lila, and Big Body Bruta is going to use the Book of Moon right away. So, I guess they really wanted to keep the rest of the back row there for that matter, but at that rate, I guess it's kind of interesting. But going for the Book of Moon there, alrighty, and then here it looks like that's actually going to be the end of the turn for Deputy Caleb, so maybe that was the right play, but at the same time, they are choosing just to hold this Needlebug Nest. I feel like maybe they could have potentially gone for a bigger play there if they activated this, hoping to hit something like a Dragon Ruler or something, and then be able to, you know, banish the Eclipse Wyvern and, you know, if anything, the JD as well, and get a JD to hand, and at that rate, hopefully they would have got some other Lightsworns. But let's see what they actually choose to do here. Over to Big Body Bruta, who gets a copy of Trap Stun, which isn't the most relevant card in this matchup. And here it looks like just going to battle phase and attacking over the Lila before setting the copy of Trap Stun. In end phase, Deputy Caleb is going to activate that Needlebug Nest, so they will get to mill 5, hitting a Eclipse Wyvern, Minerva, Lumina, and a copy of Jane, so really crazy mills here, banishing the Light Ray Diabolos and another copy of JD, and then the additional mill off of the copy of Minerva is going to hit the Necrogardna, so they are on triple Necrogardna, which is very interesting, but their grave is definitely set up if they can get to a way to actually banish these Eclipse Wyverns. It is just going to be the end of the game, given they definitely have enough Lightsworn names at this point. So let's see what actually happens here, drawing another copy of Solar Recharge, so they should just be set here, activating it, getting rid of the Raiden, and drawing a Blaster, and a copy of Lumina, and, you know, milling a copy of Soul Charge and another Lumina, so they are ready to go. this Max C might be able to put in some work here, but we will have to see, as well as, Big Body Bruta does have this Warning, Fiendish, and a copy of Compulse, so they definitely have a lot going for them as well. So here we're going to see the Lumina come down using the effect, discarding the Necrogardna, and Max C is going to be chained to that, so definitely going to get some advantage here, and Deputy Caleb is going to go and get a copy of Raiden, so maybe looking for a Black Rose play. Here Big Body Bruta gets a copy of Blackhorn, which is a great draw, though, it might just be the end of the game, though, this turn. We will have to see. Black Rose is going to be summoned, and here Big Body Bruta is going to get a copy of Tour Guide off of the Max C draw from the Black Rose, and the Black Rose is going to be activated, but we do see that Fiendish Chain going to negate that, and after that, banishing 2 for the copy of Blaster here, and they're thinking here, so maybe they were going to go for something like a Compulse, or even maybe a Warning, though Warning wouldn't be the greatest here given, both of these Wyverns are going to trigger, getting back the double JD here. And anyways, off the special summon a Blaster, though, we are going to see the Mewtwo drawn, and Dracosack is summoned, and that is going to be met with Compulse right away. And from that, they should have drawn another card because of the Dracosack summon, I believe. Hopefully they catch that. Here we are going to see the Judgment Dragon come down. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they should have drawn another card, because I think, what all did they go into this turn? They got 1 draw off of this, summoning back the Raiden, 1 off of the Blaster, and 1 off of the Black Rose. So then, yeah, they should have actually got 1 extra card there. At this point, it looks like Deputy Caleb actually just passed turn, probably not wanting to play into Max C anymore, as well as at this point they have double Necrogardna in Graveyard, so they're not necessarily afraid of losing this turn, so just passing it. And here, let's see what the draw for turn is. Another copy of Trap Stun, very unfortunate there, but here we are going to see the Tour Guide summon, using the effect and summoning another copy of Tour Guide, then overlaying into a copy of Invoker, using the effect and getting a Messengelato. Messengelato can then trigger because H.A.T is on board, and then the Chateau is added to hand and then activated. And again, it's a very interesting situation we're in where they are just not using this H.A.T. It should be able to trigger off of any monster. Let me just double check. I know that, usually the deck plays like hands and stuff, and those could always be banished. So you can target 1 monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do special summon 1 Madolche monster from your deck except H.A.T. So yeah, given that they had other Madolches in deck, they could have just used this effect, banish the Tour Guide or something like that, and if they played the second Messengelato, which some builds do, some builds don't as of late, they could have, put up another body with the Chateau. Everything's getting very big, so they would have had, it would have been 21, 21, 2016, so that would have been like 2, 4, 6, yeah, that would have been game, honestly, right here, given, obviously, they have the Necrogardnas to protect from that, but it would have put up a lot more damage in that case, so maybe there would have been a reason for that, or even overlaying, say, if they did have another Messengelato, summoning it and going for, like, a Dweller play, which would have forced out the Gardnas right away. It's really hard to say, but here it looks like going to battle phase, and they are just swinging in for a lot of damage, and it looks like Deputy Caleb is going to be taking a lot of that damage as well. Hopefully they remember the Gardnas here, which it looks like they do, and it looks like they're just going to use the Gardna on whatever attack the Messengelato was. And after that, it looks like Big Body Bruta is setting 2 and passing it over to Deputy Caleb, who really can just kind of go off here, summoning the copy of Lila, and it looks like they are going to use the effect, hitting the Trap Stun, and then from there banishing 2 for the copy of Blaster. And why was this Messengelato sent to Graveyard? Did they accidentally misclick there or something? Maybe? I'm not entirely sure what just happened there, but here overlaying, or not overlaying, special summoning the Blaster and then special summoning the Light Ray, and it looks like Big Body Bruta is letting all of this go at the moment, which is kind of strange because they could have used the Blackhorn on the copy of Light Ray to just stop this summon from happening. Obviously, we know the JD was there, so they could have just JD'd before all this, and maybe, Big Body Bruta wasn't thinking there. I'm not entirely sure what just happened at the end there with the Messengelato and stuff. But okay, so it looks like Deputy Caleb does take that game number 1. Really awkward game, if I'm being honest, but we'll move into game number 2, see how it plays out. This time, Big Body Bruta will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Lightmere, Magellin, Messengelato, Debunk, and Bottomless. And on the other side, we see Charge of the Light Brigade, Raiden, Wolf, Threatening Roar, and Max C. And here they will get a draw, getting that copy of Tour Guide. So let's see what actually happens if they choose to start with the Tour Guide or play it a little slower with the Magellin here. And it looks like they are going to go Magellin and add a copy of Angeli. After that, just setting 3 back row over to Deputy Caleb, who gets a Soul Charge. So depending on if they hit anything good off this Charge of the Light Brigade, they might just be in it. Here, activating it and milling a Lance, Redox, and Charge. So not the greatest, but they do get a copy of Lumina here. And after that, they are just going to summon Raiden, and Big Body Bruta is going to just flip that Light Mirror, and Deputy Caleb just scoops it up right away. Maybe there was a reason to, play it out a little more, though at the same time, Caleb did know that Big Body Bruta here had the copy of Angeli, which would have been very strong, especially given they did have other back row as well. But moving on into a game number 3, we will get to see Deputy Caleb start this one out. Opening hands, we see Bottomless, Blackhorn of Heaven, Tour Guide, Angeli, and Lance. And on the other side, we see Eclipse, Wyvern, Judgment Dragon, Malevolent Catastrophe, Solar Recharge, and Wolf. And here, Caleb will get a draw, getting a copy of Lila. So in all right hand, they're definitely going to need to hit something off of this Solar Recharge, which we will see right away, getting rid of that Wolf, drawing into Max C and Raiden, and milling Decree and Max C. So here, they're then going to summon the copy of Raiden, milling 2 for its effect, hitting a Necrogardener and a copy of Lila, so not terrible, and then going to end phase and milling 2 more, hitting the Soul Charge and a copy of Blaster, so not the worst, not the greatest. Choosing to hold the Malevolent Catastrophe is a little interesting, though at the same time, if they do know the Madolche matchup, then that means they're just kind of trying to play around a potential Tiramisu in a lot of cases. So over to Big Body Bruta, who gets a copy of Hoot Cake, and now they have a lot of options, just going for the Angeli right away, tributing it off, and here we are going to see the Max C dropped. So Caleb will get a draw here, getting a copy of Diabolos, and Hoot Cake is going to be summoned here. And after that, it looks like Big Body Bruta is just going to set some back row and go to the end phase, passing it over to Caleb, who gets a copy of JD. Now, keep in mind, off of the Angeli, because, off the Angeli, the Hoot Cake won't be able to be destroyed by battle. Just Angeli says that you contribute this card, special summon the Madolche from your deck, and if you do, it cannot be destroyed by battle, but is shuffled into the deck during the end phase of your next turn. So really solid just as a bit of a wall, though at the same time, the Lightsworn Ruler deck does have a lot of card effects that can just out it, though they are going to have to get through all of this back row. So anyways, here it looks like right into main phase, the Raiden's going to activate, hitting a JD and a copy of Eclipse Wyvern, and are they out of targets? Let's see, they have 1, 2, 3, and yeah, okay, so they're playing a full suite of them, but I guess at that rate, that means that they are just on the 1 Light Ray, which I personally like just playing 1, though I believe, game 1, we saw that they're on 3 Wyvern, so they're kind of going full out on those, but anyways, we do see the Lila summoned, and that is going to get met with the Bottomless, and after that, banishing 2 for the copy of Blaster. And here the Blackhorn, they can't activate Blackhorn on the Blaster because this isn't an inherent summon, this is an effect to summon. So hopefully they catch that. Yep, they do catch that right away. And let me see here, they banished the Wyvern, but did they add anything? Or they were out of targets for the Wyvern, right. So they don't add anything there, and how many names are they on right now? Just 2. So they can't even go for this. In terms of lights, they have 1, also just 2, so not the greatest there either. And after that, just going to end phase, hitting a Redox, and I believe that was another Necrogardener. So they are definitely protected up here. Here, Big Body Bruta draws into a copy of Ticket, which is a great card. After this, it looks like they're just going to main phase, using the Hoot Cake, banishing Angeli, summoning a copy of Messengelato effect to get the Chateau. And after that, they're going to normal summon Tour Guide, summon another Tour Guide, maybe a Leviair play here. They're going to overlay, for a copy of Leviair. and bring back that copy of Angeli. After that, they can activate Ticket and activate H.A.T, and H.A.T is going to shuffle back the Hootcake into deck, which will trigger the Ticket, and the Mewtwo is going to be added to hand here, though I believe, right, this has the effect that if they have a fairy-type Madolche monster, you can special summon it from your deck in attack instead. So they do have a fairy here, Madolche monster, but I guess just choosing to keep it in hand for the follow-up if they want to normal the Mewtwo into Hootcake, which is always a strong play here. And let's see here, they're going to overlay into a copy of Dweller. Okay, so using the effect, and will we see the Necrogardna chained? They do allow it to actually go through. So here the Levier is going to attempt to attack into the copy of Raiden, which had not hit any Lightsworn, so it is just that base stats. But here we are going to see that Malevolent Catastrophe come in clutch here, and Lance is going to be chained though, so the Raiden is going to lose a little bit of attack, but Big Body Bruta is going to lose all their back row. Going into main phase 2, into end phase, and the Blaster returns to hand. Deputy Caleb will draw a Solar Recharge for turn, but unfortunately doesn't have any Lightsworns to actually take advantage of that here. It definitely is not looking great for Caleb here, and let's see what they choose to do. It looks like right away in draw phase, though, Big Body Bruta is going to use that copy of Dweller, and it looks like Caleb is just going to normal summon Wyvern and attack into the Tour Guide, and from here, Big Body Bruta draws a copy of Dark Bribe. That I was definitely not expecting to see here. And let's see, here we do see the Mewtwo play, and the Hootcake will be special summoned, and from there, Deputy Caleb has seen enough, and they are just going to scoop it up, though they did have double Necrogardna, so they technically, I don't think, should have been afraid of anything like that. So interesting that they scooped it up a little preemptively. How many names at that point did they have? They had 1, 2, 3, so really they just needed one more. I kind of wish I'd be able to look at their deck, because if the next card was a Lightsworn name, it could have got really bad here, given that these double JDs could have came down. Let me see, they still only had 3 lights in terms of dragons. They had the Redox here. Did they have, they didn't have any, oh wait, they had the Max C. So they could have, in theory, maybe banished the Light Ray plus the Max C to summon something like a Redox, or they could have, gone Blaster, banishing a JD and a Light Ray to summon it, or I guess, let me think how many, if they had 1 and then 2, they could have summoned this, and then this would have been able to banish these and maybe go for a rank 7 or something. I guess it really comes down to what Deputy Caleb's next draw was, but very interesting game to say the very least, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Regardless, if you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and anyways guys, I will see you in the next video.